The film begins with a beautiful mommy named Delane receiving a call from her husband. At that time, Robert informed her that he would be busy for a few days because he had to work out of town. Delane rarely had hormone activities with him. Delane asked Robert to be home on Halloween because that's when they could gather with the children. Robert immediately ended the call. Robert's attitude was the source of their strained relationship. At night, while Delane was sleeping, a woman called. The woman asked if Robert was at home, which made her wonder who the woman was. The woman claimed to be a bartender, and there was no mistake, she was Robert's girlfriend. Knowing this, Delane immediately called Robert and scolded him. She told him that his girlfriend had just called. Robert, hearing this, tried to defend himself. The next day, he made time to come home and meet Delane. They argued in the car because they didn't want to be heard by their children. After the argument, Delane finally forgave Robert. As a replacement and a bond for their relationship, they had hormone activities in the car. Robert went back to work. At home, Delane complained of back pain due to the wild hormone activities they had before. She went to the doctor. The doctor's name was Graham. Graham informed her that her nerve was pinched. In all innocence, he told her that her nerve was pinched because of the wrong position when she and her husband had hormone activities. Before leaving, Delane was given medication, and after a week, she was expected to come back for a checkup. Long story short, not even a week had passed when Delane returned to Graham. Delane suddenly burst into tears and poured out all her marriage problems. Graham, feeling sorry for Delane, comforted her. It seems Delane has become comfortable with Graham. And in between, intimacy occurs. Without much thought, they have hormone activities inside the clinic. Now Delane's days are more colorful. She tells her friend about Graham at a cafe. Hearing this, her friend advises Delane that an affair will surely not end well, especially if it leads to divorce. The children's psychology will surely be greatly affected. As Halloween approaches, Robert finally returns. He will spend time with his family. But surprisingly, instead of receiving warmth from Delane, he is informed that Delane will file for divorce. Instead of asking for the reason behind Delane's decision, Robert shows no respect at all towards her. He immediately leaves the room. After the conversation, Delane informs her children that their parents will soon separate. Her son immediately gets angry with Delane, thinking she is being cruel to his father. But her daughter chooses to support her because she believes her mother deserves to be happy. To calm the children down, Delane takes them all to the mall and to the amusement park. There she meets her friend named Lily. It turns out Lily already knows that Delane is soon getting divorced. Without any burden, Delane seems happy. She tells Lily that she has found a replacement for Robert. Lily has known that Delane is close to Graham. Lily informs her that Graham already has a wife and children. Plus, recently Graham has a pregnant girlfriend. It is known that Graham's girlfriend is Lily's close friend. That's how Lily knows about Graham. Delane, feeling deeply hurt, is very sad. She feels she made a mistake in choosing a man, especially to the extent of divorcing Robert. She meets Graham and asks for his explanation. Graham can only remain silent, and then admits that the story is indeed true. Delane was angry why Graham lied to her when she had already sacrificed her marriage for him. She immediately left Graham. After that incident, Delane chose to spend time shopping with her friends. She confided in her friend about the experience she had with Graham. Her friend suggested trying a dating app. She also mentioned that she might meet the perfect man through the app. That night, Delane tried the app. Within a few moments, several guys matching her type asked her out on dates. Delane was very excited and quickly dressed up elegantly. She went to a cafe and waited for her online date to arrive. Unfortunately, after waiting for a long time, the man didn't show up, and Delane's number was blocked. Delane felt frustrated, angry, and disappointed when she returned home. She even stopped by Graham's house and vented her anger in front of it because Graham had destroyed her life. At home, Delane reopened the app. A man named Donnie contacted Delane and considered her a perfect match for him. They often chatted, and Delane confided in Donnie about her marital problems. Donnie was very friendly to Delane and stated that he would teach her to find a good man. Delane seemed hypnotized by Donnie's sweet words and promises. They planned to meet, but they never actually did. Donnie only called Delane from a distance and told her he would see her from the direction of the window where Delane was. There, Donnie asked Delane to let go of all her armor and start hormoning with herself. Delane did it willingly, and finally, that evening ended beautifully. On another day, Delane reopened the app. She got acquainted with a man named Eric. They met at a place where they were taken to various themed rooms where they could having hormone activities. Delane felt challenged. Her body felt hot and cold. Eventually, she engaged in hormone activities with Eric. Long story short, after that meeting, Delane and Eric often went out together like a couple in love. Eric even wanted to take their relationship to a more serious level. He gave Delane a diamond ring as a marriage proposal. However, Delane couldn't accept the offer because she hadn't officially divorced Robert yet. Despite that, Delane was still very much infatuated with Donnie, the mysterious man who called her the other night. Eric was disappointed at the time, but he couldn't force Delane. In fact, all this time, Delane's approach to other men was a challenge from Donnie, a challenge for Delane to face various male traits. That night, for the first time, Donnie, the mysterious figure, finally sent a photo of his face to Delane. Delane was very interested in Donnie. One day, while walking in the park, she saw Graham sitting alone. Delane asked him how he was. It turned out that Graham's life was now in ruins due to his affair. It was evident from his very stressed face. After that meeting, Delane reported to Donnie that she had just met Graham, whom she used to love deeply. Donnie felt he had succeeded in teaching Delane because she no longer had feelings for Graham, the man who had hurt her. Then they planned their first meeting. Delane took a taxi to the city where Donnie lived. Finally, the two of them met. Donnie prepared a very special dress that he had bought. Of course, Delane was willing to wear it in front of Donnie. But unfortunately, even though they had been hot for hours, they had not yet engaged in any hormone activities. This was because Donnie was very busy and overwhelmed with his work. Delane complained and asked Donnie to quickly finish his work. Donnie emphasized that this relationship had to go according to Donnie's orders. Whatever Delane did had to be in accordance with Donnie's commands. Finally, because Delane kept whining about being wet, she finally engaged in a hormone activities with Donnie. Delane felt very happy after hormoning with him. Moreover, thanks to Donnie, her life became better, and she could become a very strong mother for her children. Christmas Day arrived, and Delane had to go home and celebrate Christmas with Robert and their children. Robert invited Delane to have a serious conversation. He wanted them to get back together and rebuild their relationship. Delane refused and would not be swayed by Robert's persuasion. At this point, she was very firm in her decision. She would be a single mom and would not be anyone's wife. This was because being a single mom could be very liberating and she could experience different types of men. After that, Delane continued to get to know other men. Of course, she also engaged in hormone activities with these men. And the movie ends.